You have to be careful about making a weird show or watching a weird show.
Hello, this is Greg Smalley on Pod 366, a Weird Movies podcast. Joined today, as I sometimes am, by Podden Pete Turbovich, who may or may not be breaking up right now.
I'll try my best.
We think he's okay, but
All right.
there you go. And later today, we will be joined by Giles Edwards, also from remotely from Montreal, as he continues to cover the Fantasia Film Festival 2025. And he and Pete will have some stuff to discuss, along with me, of course. But for this first introductory session, we're going to go through 6 new release items that should be coming up on your screen in just a second. Here we go. Can you see it, Pete?
I'm seeing something starting. Yep, there we are.
Okay. That was
Oh my.
6 of them. I'm taking them off one by one. It's a kind of very low budget psychedelia, alternative psychedelia kind of theme going maybe this week.
Yeah. Maybe more of a Gen Z theme, I think, because some of these movies I noticed just seem to be aimed at the younger crowd these days and have more modern sensibilities. So there's a
That's
couple of interesting stories coming up there.
younger crowds are the ones that are making the new movies. So here we go.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start out with this one, which is a not a released movie, but a in development movie, I guess we could call it. What do you see there on the screen?
Oh, well, it looks like a close-up of some Christmas decorations or under a tree view, perhaps. And it's got 3 different fonts and 3 different colors to tell us about the Psycho Ape Christmas Spectacular.
It is the Psycho Ape Christmas Spectacular. Uh, I'm guessing you didn't see Psycho, the original Psycho Ape, or
No, yeah,
or the
I try to keep my podcast diet up to schedule, but but you
or the
can't keep them all.
sequel, which we covered, Psycho Ape 2. Well, we've had these directors of this, Addison Binnick and Greg DeLiso, on Pod 366 before, so it's just Psycho Ape. So I figured we kind of owed them another one. Can you see the new screen there, Pete? Or are you still seeing the same thing?
I'm still seeing this.
Okay. Okay. This is the Psycho Ape Christmas Spectacular. It is an Indiegogo campaign. They want to get it out by Christmas, obviously. Looking to raise $10,000. They've raised about $1,000 with 22 days left. Psycho Ape, of course, as you might guess, is a very low budget comedy, pretty much in the tradition of trauma type films, but even cheaper. Like if Trauma said we gotta cut our budget by 90% to make these movies. This is what you'd get from Psycho Ape. Bananas, lots of bananas used as special effects. And a cheap ape suit is the main expense. In this one, it's going to be, as we say, a Christmas special. They plan to spoof Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. They're always spoofing other B movies as their inspiration. So this one's, for some reason, taking its inspiration from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, not the original. Did you by chance see the promo video with the scene in it?
Oh yeah, I did, and he's having a Indiegogo fundraiser. It's his goal amount somewhere in the thousands of dollars, but he's got a few hundred so far. And I should say there's quite a few video movie podcast guys out there that have done their own little productions. So if anybody out there is familiar with Nostalgia Critic or Cinema Snob Productions or AVGN, the Angry Video Game Nerd, those are all name brand YouTube channels, been around for a while, and they've made their own little productions too. So if you're a fan of things like Nostalgia Critic's own movies, this is probably going to be right up the same alley.
Yeah, it could be. Let's see. One thing here is they in the last movie they had their crowd raising people as perks. If they donated a certain amount of money, they were in the movie. In this one, if you donate $200, you can either submit your own scene, which will be included in the movie, or your own Christmas song jingle. So there's that. Just one little thing, description they say, we believe Psycho Ape Christmas Special will be a really fun throwback to TV holiday specials with featured commercials, Christmas jingles, and a wraparound Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 parody story, a plethora of crazy, creative Santa scenes and songs made by you. Santa Ape scenes, I should say. So very silly, horror comedy with a killer ape, lots of bananas, and that's what you get from Psycho Ape 2. Or this is actually would be the third Psycho Ape movie, Psycho Ape Christmas Spectacular. But let's go on to something also with a low budget, maybe a little bit more than $10,000. Not a whole lot more, maybe a little more. Let's see.
What is
What do
it?
you see there on the screen there, Pete?
This is a girl laying down on grass outdoors, listening to perhaps a Walkman. It looks like it's really old.
Yeah.
Modern headphones, but like a 1980s Walkman tape player. Anyway, and with a blanket on her chest, and she's relaxing outside in the grass, and the sky is filled with rainbow swirls and sparklies. And this is a movie about a character with synesthesia, which is a actually a neurological disorder where people experience things like numbers and music as colors and visual effects. So, and this movie kind of turns it into a superpower.
Well, maybe. I don't know. We haven't seen it, so it's
Yeah.
it's. I think it's synesthesia is how it's pronounced, and it's a it means your senses get switched, so you perceive visuals as sound, you perceive sound as visuals is the most common form of it. It's something that happens to a lot of people under psychotropic drugs, but it happens to a small number of people just naturally. I saw like 2% of the population have it. That seems way too high to me because I've never met anybody who's claimed to have synesthesia normal. But some people do have it just naturally. Most people have it through drug experimentation. This, however, is definitely a family favorite, family friendly movie. It's a family comedy with like a, I don't know, is she 10-year-old girl as the star, set in 1997 for some reason. And
Ah,
yeah,
that
set
explains the Walkman.
Haley's Comet. I don't know if that's a plot point or what. And it has Colin Mockery from Whose Line Is It Anyway? Doing a comic role as a very strange sort of handyman. And there's a lot of, these cheap kind of what we used to back in the 60s for those LSD movies, they used to call them paint on the lens movies, where they,
Ah,
put the filters on and lots of colors and stuff like that. So it's a modern digital version of that, but in a family-friendly way. So you saw the trailer, I'm guessing?
yes, yeah, yeah. I'm going entirely by the trailer.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does seem to be very sugary sweet, kind of. kind of movie. It does seem like it's made for young kids or young adults at least. Like I was saying Gen Z, maybe I should be saying Gen Alpha instead because we've moved on to that generation now. Most of Gen Z is pretty grown up.
Have we already moved to a new one? Wow, they go fast.
Yeah, time just keeps flying by, man.
They got to come up with better names too by Gen X. Gen X was okay, but then your Y, Z, Alpha. Come on, man, come up with better names. Anyway, yeah. So it's a kids movie, but a kids movie with experimentation and a odd sort of theme to it. Something you're not going to see very frequently. In a similar vein, we're getting a little bit for an older group, is this next one. Similar type of budget, I think. We have a poster here. How would you describe it there, Pete?
How would I describe this? Well, we got a man and a woman hugging in the foreground with the title of the movie over them, and then looming over them is a giant floating head in a psychedelic haze of technicolor smoke with a what looks like a oxygen mask or some kind of mask over the person's face and a hose leading from it. Kind of reminds me of Nitrous Man from David Lynch's movie.
Oh,
David
Frank.
Lynch's Blue Velvet. Right, Frank, Blue Velvet.
I hadn't thought of Frank, but yeah, it's got the gas mask I skipped. Before I go on, I'm going to say Snorkeling and the previous movie Magnetosphere, which I'm not sure we even mentioned the name. Magnetosphere is the
Oh
synesthesia.
yes, Magnetosphere.
Both of them on VOD primarily. Magnetosphere may have a theatrical release somewhere, but mainly VOD. Both debuting this week. Snorkeling is it's for teenagers, or it's about teenagers, high schoolers who experiment with a new drug, and the drug experience is called snorkeling. So, like, do you go snorkeling? Is how they introduce each other. And it is a drug that's taken through a gas mask here, so it does make one think that perhaps he's referencing nitrous oxide, which I think is undergoing a sort of trend right now with kids using it, although this was made in 2023. It is an imaginary drug. It's supposed to give you out-of-body hallucinations and be very addictive also, both just an imaginary drug that I imagine the director picked so that he could do these psychedelic visuals that
What the hell just happened?
there was I'm getting I've got a Amazon person and a phone call at the same time. And anyway, snorkeling. Did you see the trailer, Pete?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think? Or what?
It's well, I mean, movies about drugs are bread and butter on a weird movie site, of course. And it's very colorful, it's got some psychedelic sequences, and it's kind of about a young couple who are both into snorkeling, and this is part of their relationship. Um, so you have that situation as in real life where a couple are both into partying, but then one of them wants to quit, the other one drags them back down. Codependent addiction is a thing in relationships. So this might be something of a Aesop's fable about the dangers of addiction, or it could be just a frank examination of the phenomenon.
Yeah,
Um,
I
we'll
think
see.
that's fair. Or it could be just an excuse to do some psychedelic experimentation with the visuals.
Sure.
Um, these used to be exploitation movies. Now they're probably more seriously intended. This isn't about a real drug, which kind of makes it more easier to be about addiction in general because it's a made up drug. Not like they used to do the anti-marijuana movies, the Reefer Madnesses, and the She Should Have Said No, that were later appeared totally ridiculous. This one can't really appear ridiculous because it's a fake drug, so they've insulated themselves that way and can just talk about uh, addiction in general. But I do think it's mostly uh, an excuse for the director to be able to play around with all these psychedelic effects and the weird and colorful lighting schemes and so on. That's my guess, but maybe he's very
Yep.
seriously interested in addiction. Um, Moving on. Those are the new release movies, both Magnetosphere and Snorkeling on VOD. Now, this one is a movie that was in theaters earlier this year and is now on Blu-ray and DVD. Pete, what do you see on this back of the Blu-ray?
Well, either I'm looking at a poster or a collage of other elements here. But I guess maybe that was taken off the back of the DVD cover or something. But it's two scenes. Both of them look very outer space. One with people in astronaut suits and on some kind of background that I can't even tell if it's indoor or outdoor. With a red background, a whole lot of text, and then another view, possibly out the windows, viewing out the windows of a spacefaring vehicle, perhaps,
Mhm.
looking out at different scenes from a planetscape. It's kind of science fiction-y. I'm lost.
Most definitely, it's science fiction-y. It's Ash, uh,
Right.
movie Ash from Flying Lotus, the electronic acid jazz composer turned director. His second movie, his first one, Kuso, was thoroughly surreal, but very gross and sort of uh, fecal and anal obsessed. This one is much more of a contemporary science fiction movie about people exploring a foreign planet. It's got kind of an alien feel and look to it. The movie Alien from 1979 with some of the design. Um, Here's the log line or the plot description from the back cover. On the mysterious planet of Ash, Raya, Isa Gonzalez awakens to find her crew slaughtered when a man named Brian, or maybe Brian, Aaron Paul arrives to rescue her. An ordeal of psychological and physical terror ensues, while Rhea and Brian must decide if they can trust one another to survive. From director Flying Lotus, not Flying Director Lotus, from director Flying Lotus and writer Johnny Remler. And so, yes, I saw this in theaters, and it was visually very impressive. The kind of people caught in space on a lonely, isolated spaceship thing didn't really bring anything super new to the table, but it was passable. I think it's mainly a movie people are going to want to see for the visuals. It was nice to see on the big screen. Here it is on DVD and Blu-ray with a ton of special features. I think they said 2 hours worth of special features, including interview with director Flying Lotus, feature on creating the costumes, feature on the visual style, a making of, behind the scenes, and some other film teasers. Anything else to say about it there, Pete?
It seems like at the base, it seems like a pretty typical sci-fi thriller scenario. As I understand it from the trailer, there's like one woman who wakes up in a space colony to find everybody else dead, the place deserted. She can't remember how she got there, blah blah blah. And boy, characters who start out the movie with amnesia. Is that like 50% of all movies by weight? I haven't done the math on it yet, but I mean, man, we really overuse that one a lot.
50% of all
So
weird movies, at least. Uh,
especially in weird movies, yeah. So that's that. However, it does say it's psychedelic sci-fi with mind-altering gore.
yeah,
So there's that for it.
yeah.
Certainly looks like a movie.
It is a movie. It is a movie. I've seen it. It is a movie. So,
And we have a review of it on the site, don't we?
we do, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it has the best part of it probably is the comic relief Japanese robot that's like a medic and all-purpose, but there's some nice little jokes involving that little pseudo life
Sure.
form. Okay, so that's Ash, now available on DVD and Blu-ray. Speaking to some older movies now that have been out on Blu-ray before, but are now coming out on 4K or enhanced features. This one, Pete seems eager to talk about, so I'm going to let him describe this box cover.
Well, this box cover is HDR. It's a collage assembly of various characters, and it prominently features a man brandishing a spoon, a fiendish glee as a trickle of a yogurt-like substance goes down his face, and a nice big bucket of creamy, overflowing stuff, which is labeled with the typical mauve and orange label and stylized font, and it's labeled as Larry Cohen's The Stuff,
And that's the name of the
which
movie.
I love this movie. I like this movie. I can see where it's a big parody of consumerism. Some people say it could be remade. It's kind of got some uneven spots. It's not perfect. Nevertheless, I still qualify it as at least borderline weird.
Okay, well, that's nice to know because I haven't seen it, but it's from Larry Cohen, and Larry Cohen's movies are always, at the very least, offbeat, I'd say. We have included God Told Me To as one of our apocryphally weird movies from him. I think it's certainly the weirdest Larry Cohen movie I've ever seen. I think probably the weirdest one that exists, but like I say, all of his movies tend to be offbeat and kind of low budget, not as low budget as those micro budget movies that we were featuring earlier, but from the 70s and 80s, this is working just beneath the studio system, right? So they're not studio movies. They have really good budgets for independent movies, but aren't really quite competitive with Hollywood. But Larry is able to make it look a lot like a Hollywood, as much like a Hollywood movie as he can. This one features Michael Moriarty. I guess everybody seems to like his performance. As I said, I haven't seen it, so I'm going to defer to you if you say it's borderline weird. That's why we're featuring it this week.
All right.
Anything else to say
Anyway.
about the stuff, or?
Oh yeah, well it's got a cult following to this day. It is a bit dated. There's a chocolate chip cookie entrepreneur in the story of the stuff, which is a parody of the then famous Amos chocolate chip cookie guy back in the 80s. So that's kind of a dated reference these days. I don't even know if famous Amos is still in business. I did hear the guy passed away.
Yeah, good.
But anyway, and the stuff very much there's a whole bunch of parody commercials for the stuff. It kind of has an invasion of the body snatchers kind of structure to it,
Mhm.
where the stuff ends up mind controlling people who get addicted to it, and they become fanatical marketers and proponents of the stuff, who are so eager about it they'll cram it down your throat if you don't try it. So as it slowly takes over the world, and the few people who have been affected become the last sane people alive. So it's kind of got that beat to it.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about the perform or the presentation, the actual physical product itself. The movie is on 4K UHD, not on maybe it is on a standard Blu-ray. as well. I'm not 100% sure from this description if the actual movie is on. No, I think the actual movie is just on the 4K UHD, and there is a Blu-ray with special features. Um, but you'll have to have a 4K UHD player to play this. It's from Arrow, comes with the reversible sleeve, the collector's booklet, um, the new restoration. Let's see, what else they have? New audio commentary by the writers and critics David Flint and Adrian Smith, an archival audio commentary from Larry Cohen, 42nd Street Memories, the rise and fall of America's most notorious street, as a feature-length documentary about 42nd Street,
Wow.
which has, I guess, Larry Cohen interview in it. Can't get enough of the stuff. Making Larry Cohen's classic creature feature is a documentary about Larry Cohen. Another featurette with previously unseen interviews with Larry Cohen, and some trailers and TV spots. And then there's also a second disc for the limited edition only, which includes an early pre-release cut of the film, including 30 minutes of additional footage and a different musical score. So that's like an alternate version, or something more like a maybe that they produced and then cut down to make the final theatrical version. And that's the bonus feature on that disc. So pretty elaborate offering from Arrow as usual, but I think this one has even more stuff in it than usual.
More stuff for the stuff.
More stuff for
Yeah,
the
sounds
stuff.
like good bang for your buck.
A lot of good stuff. Okay, and the last one we're going to discuss today is another old cult film that's being released on Blu-ray. You want to take a crack at this 4K UHD
Yeah,
box cover?
we got a movie poster here, which is a stylized 1960s style drawing that you would recognize from something like the James Bond franchise, perhaps, with various characters, at least two of them brandishing guns. And the title up at the top says Danger, Diabolik.
Diabolik.
Diabolik. And
Yeah,
it is a Mario Bava film.
it is a Mario Bava film, a very late Mario Bava film from '68, I believe. And it's one of those Euro spy type movies. The Diabolik character was a character. He was not invented for this movie. He came from comic books. So this is sort of a mix of a anti-superhero with a Euro spy James Bond thing going on. The movie itself has Michel Piccoli as a head of law enforcement, coordinating a team that's trying to catch this Diabolik, and his beautiful assistant, played by the lovely and talented Marissa Mell, who wants to do things like diamond heists and, the normal kind of supervillain, anti-hero stuff. Ends up getting coated in gold for the end of the movie. Have you seen it, Pete?
I haven't seen this one specifically, but I have been very curious about Mario Bava's canon. If I ever pick up Weird View Crew again, I'm probably going to end up reviewing a couple Mario Bavas. I feel like amongst Giallo directors, Mario Bava kind of gets outshone by the other canon Giallo directors. But Bava had his own thing that he was doing. And for the life of me, I still can't figure out what it is. Like I've seen $5 for an August Moon like 5 times. I don't know if I'll ever review it because I still can't understand who the hell killed who.
Yeah, well,
So
Bava was all over the place. I mean, he started out in Gothic horror, and he did Peplums with Hercules, and he did Giallo. He did, the proto Giallos, the movies that came before Giallo that Giles developed into. Then he did real Giles, and then he did this spy movie. I mean, he was just all over the place, and every kind of exploitation film genre, and making some very stylish and well-made exploitation films.
Yeah. And the thing with this one is, as I understand it, like I haven't seen it, but I know Diabolik by its reputation, because there is a rabid fan base out there for just this little cult following. So, but Diabolik, it's really the Diabolik movies in the universe. It's not about the plot. It's not about making sense. It's about turn off your brain and watch the sexy shenanigans and stunts happen because there's going to be one every 5 minutes. And
Yeah,
that's pretty much the whole point of the movies.
yeah, that's what they'd like you to believe. I don't think it's quite that action packed. There are some action scenes. Not every. It's not they don't have the money to quite put in the production values of a real James Bond movie, but they're trying to get that kind of feel to it, and they use a lot of production design and some bizarre costuming and strange lighting and psychedelic effects to try to make up for what they lack in the ability to do, large scale action scenes. Although they do have some action scenes as well. I shouldn't sell it entirely short on that. But you do have to remember that this is another low budget movie made in Italy. Although, John Philip Law, a nice star there. Marissa Mell, as I said, very beautiful. Probably should have been a bigger star. One little other note is this was the final movie shown on the original run of Mystery Science Theater. And they went out with one that was not that bad, that was really kind of a good one, because just to give people a little treat, I think. For this actual release, let me describe what you get if you buy this one from Kino Lorber. First off, you can get this one either in 4K UHD or just in Blu-ray, so you don't have to have that player. Special features are it's a brand new master, some auto commentary by actor John Philip Law, moderated by film historian Tim Lucas. Now, this doesn't say if that's new or not. I'm not sure if John Philip Law is still around. I guess he is. Could be a new one. A separate audio commentary by Troy Horwath and Nathaniel Thompson. A newly discovered, I guess never foreseen outro that goes 3 minutes long. A little featurette called From Fumetti to Film. Body Movin', a music video by the Beastie Boys, which incorporates some of the Danger Diabolik stuff, and various trailers. Also, it does not look like it comes with a booklet in this case. That's from Kino Lorber. The version, they have all these sublabels. This is KL Classic, KL Studio Classics. Sublabel. So I guess this was picked up by Paramount. So it did get a pretty good release in the United States, despite being made in Italy and more of an Italian / Euro movie. But it did get some release. So there we go. And that is all for that portion of the show. We are going to be back soon enough. For you, no time at all will pass. And talking with Giles Edwards about what he's seeing at Fantasia this year. So that's it for now, Pete. So why don't we just come back in a little bit?
Sounds like a plan.
No closing words. None are needed.
Oh, all right.
See you
Let's
soon.
get on with it.
Bye-bye. Hello, and we're back, and Pete now has mouse ears, and we're joined by the smiling Giles Edwards.
Smiling Giles. Hello.
Giles, from Montreal, from a Airbnb or hotel room somewhere.
Old hotel.
Old hotel. Which hotel is it?
This is the Manoir Sherbrooke, first put up, I think, late Victorian and updated as I imagine health and safety codes required. Great little spot. and about I don't know, a couple dozen rooms, all of them uniquely shaped.
Oh, really? Okay. So it's a pretty small. Okay. All right. So Giles, of course, is in Montreal at the Fantasia Festival 2025, a festival where we always cover because they tend to have a huge number of movies and they tend to have multiple weird movies playing there, and our kind of people can often be found there. And it is relatively close for Giles to get to. So Giles loves it and spending 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
2.5,
2.5 weeks.
possibly just over that. They added an extra day at the beginning of the festival about a month ago to make room for the latest Ari Aster movie, which I didn't make it for because, well, traveling internationally and all that, but it was a packed house for that, unsurprisingly.
Yeah. Well, that's also in theaters near me, and I will be seeing it next week, most likely anyway. So,
Yeah, I reckon. I mean, I might have been able to elbow my way in, but it quickly occurred to me that someone, me, anyone will be able to see this pretty much anywhere. So, yeah.
all right. Well, we're gonna just talk about what you have seen so far, maybe a little bit what you're looking forward to. I just noticed today that Angel's Egg is screening there, which is a
Yeah.
movie that we have been anxiously awaiting to be re-released for since the site started. So it's been in over a decade we've been waiting for that. Before we just jump in, Pete, do you have anything you want to ask Giles about?
Well, there's one movie that I'm obviously very interested in, but we'll get to it, I'm sure. That's what the furry ears are about. These are my weeaboo furry fan ears. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, Giles, why don't we start out? What did you do today so far? Have you done anything new?
Today, I have actually really just hidden in my hotel room. It's a bit over 90 American degrees outside. If you see in the lower part of my screen, there's some evil sun trying to get through my curtain still. So I've been catching up with some interview postings. So I won't be going out until tonight.
Okay. Well,
See,
did you see anything yesterday that has not yet been updated on the site?
that's a good question. Let me check this increasingly decrepit piece of paper that I've been working with. All right. So yesterday, there's some shorts that I'll be talking about. I'll be talking about Every Heavy Thing as a latest Mickey Reese movie, and a fun premise. The director is going for a Brian De Palma late 80s, early 90s style, psychosexual violence thriller, except with a protagonist who wants absolutely nothing to do with that.
Oh, good.
And I saw The House with Laughing Windows, which is a recent restoration of, I believe the director, last name of Avadi, that had some strange things going on, but not quite enough for us. So yeah, I had 3 screenings yesterday. They were all very enjoyable, but nothing new and weird. Although I am a bit backlogged on a candidate review from Tuesday.
Okay. We do have a review of House with Laughing Windows on the site from
Oh,
2010. Um, so let's talk about the two movies that you mentioned in your omnibus post that you recommended, but were not especially weird. How's that sound?
yeah, it sounds
We're
good.
not weird enough to.
First,
Okay, which one would you like to discuss first?
I think the first one I saw was Cielo.
Okay, one
Which,
second.
oh yeah, you got some
I'm going to
pictures.
bring up some graphics for you if I can find. All right. Here we go with the movie poster you should be seeing very soon, the movie poster for Cielo. Got it?
Oh, yep,
There it
there
is.
we go. Yeah.
Okay. You want to describe the poster, Giles, while you're...
Sure thing. We have two women at the bank of a pond. One of them much younger. I know they are mother and daughter. There is it's sort of a watercolor kind of scheme here, albeit with a kind of photographic, realistic look. Some very dark, fluffy clouds with some light emanating from the center. The two most prominent things being large golden fish seem to be flying in the air above these reclined individuals by the waterside here.
And it's called Cielo, and the tagline, "How far would you go to reach heaven?" So would you say this poster conveys the mood of the film?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I might consider making the cloud line look a little happier because there's a whole lot of joy in this movie, despite the fact it begins with, as I remarked, a double homicide. I'm not giving much away there because that takes place in the first 5 or so minutes. This girl, for one reason or another, wants to get to the coast. She's got a sort of dead-end existence with somewhat abusive father, and her mother also wants to escape. And it seems the best way to do that is kill her temporarily, but have her soul or her essence safely stored in a fish that the young girl has contained inside her body. I believe she says at one point somewhere just above her stomach. So lots of supernatural flourishes like that, crashing into the more quotidian, harder life of sort of poverty-stricken individuals in the hinterlands of Bolivia.
Is it Bolivian? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that sounds weird, but okay.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that someone else might want to check it out and give their 2 cents because, this is this term is as slippery as these fish here.
It's a magical realist type drama.
Yeah.
Any questions, Pete?
No.
Okay.
We have bigger fish to fry in this episode.
Next one that you saw but did not recommend as weird, but recommended in general here. What about this one? This is Am Frankelda.
Am Frankelda.
Frankelda. Describe
And
the poster, if you would, briefly.
this is there's a sort of spider web veined window, stained glass window with the little support elements being iron looking. See some, I don't know, curtainy in the background. In the foreground, we have, despite the white swoop in the hair, a young woman in, I'm going to say, late 19th century hairstyle and dress. All very blue tone, deep, rich blue dress. Those lacy arm sleeve things going up to the flared shoulder, what have you. I should really learn some fashion terms if I'm going to keep talking about posters here. Frilly neck thing, and she herself is more than a little blue in hue. For this is the spirit of Frankelda that is temporarily extracted from the physical body when she is taken to visit the nightmare land that she has chronicled or has inadvertently chronicled.
And as I understand it, this is a Mexican stop motion movie, as you say, and probably as we might have guessed in the spirit of the Nightmare on Christmas, before Christmas, and those other stop motion movies.
Yeah.
What else do you have?
This is got certainly heavily inspired by that mentality that was laid down in 91 by Tim Burton. This
Henry Selick,
movie,
too, more important.
Selick, excuse me, no, yeah, mustn't forget the actual guy who directed it. This is from a pair of brothers. They spent, I believe, 13 years on this particular project, and that was probably concurrently with a series of episodes they did for HBO, I believe, six episodes of stories by this character. So this, I guess, is providing a fuller story for this individual that they obviously must very much love as a creation, since they have spent so much time working with this Frankelda person who's very much a storyteller. As much as it's a movie about, you know, nightmare world and fantastical things going on, there's a very, very heavy theme of the importance of storycraft, storytelling, and general imaginative creation throughout this
Okay.
movie, which has some good musical numbers, one very good one, and an extended operatic
Mm.
encounter with the convergence of the seven clans of scariness. That I guess there's death, there's the primal scariness, there's darkness, there's a bunch of other sort of archetypal things that are all coming together because they are very dismayed at the state of their kingdom, because more and more they find that the fuel, the however this thing is maintained, people in our world just aren't having enough frights in our nightmares these days, and that's due to the lapsing quality of the royal nightmare at the start of the movie, who's this horrible giant spider thing.
Hmm.
Okay. And so that is in Spanish, correct?
Yes.
All right. I have heard other people praise this one in general. I think it has been seen outside Fantasia, as from the poster announces that it was at Annecy. So, any further questions, Pete?
Not really.
Okay.
This is definitely giving Tim Burton vibes, and so with stop motion animation and kind of that. I'm gonna guess probably Tim Burton kind of invented this genre. I'm gonna call it the creepy cozy genre, because
Mm.
it's just a little bit scary, but it's for kids, so it's not too scary. But it's just got that Nightmare Before Christmas vibe to it. Sounds interesting. Got a couple of interesting wrinkles to it, but yeah, might be interesting.
Yeah, another one of those movies that's if you want to start your own kids, your nieces, nephews off right, it's a good introductory film into the more macabre side of things.
Okay. So, with that out of the way, we do have four films that were more weird that you recommended. Do you want to? I know Pete is very anxious to talk about a particular one, but
We can start with that one if
do you want
Oh,
to?
goody.
I don't know how much intelligent things I can have to say about it, but I'll do my best.
All right. Do you, if you want to start with it, we can start with it. Just don't go too long,
Okay.
so we can get to the rest of them.
All right.
But my goodness, what a still! I probably picked a too ambitious still, but you want to try to summarize sort of this?
All right, we've got an Edenic thing going on here. This is done in I'm going to say a mid-50s pop art style with some more contemporary to late 80s to contemporary anime leaning with the imagery. We've got vines, we've got brightly colored red mushrooms with white stars on them. We have exotic plants. We have this lovely river going through the whole thing. We have a cat individual holding a pocky snack stick seated on some mushrooms. We have the same cat individual lying relaxed, doing the either dead man's float or reverse dead man's float, lazing in the river. So it's all told looks quite borderline surreal, certainly very, very busy.
Hmm. Indeed, and I've seen numerous stills from this movie, and they are all in a pretty different style. Although the character, the character design remains the same of that main character, the cat.
Mhm.
This is Tamala? Is how you
Tamala.
Tamala?
Tamala, yeah.
Tamala, a punk cat. This time in dark. Tamala, a punk cat, was previously found in space.
Hmm.
Now in dark. Before we forget, I will point out that this is uh, the original was released and then picked up recently by Deaf Crocodile and put out in a new version, which is where a lot of people saw it for the first time. And this sequel, the In Space sequel, is also coming out from Deaf Crocodile and will be out in 2026 on Blu-ray. I do believe it is also going to get a theatrical release, probably very limited, but let's get that out of the way. With that out of the way, Giles, do you have some opening remarks?
Sure, I'll start by saying that I'll be rather surprised if I see anything stranger this festival. It's from this image here, and look up any of the images, look up any clips. It's a very strange thing. This sort of the main character is somewhere between our reality and like enlightenment, so it's like hovering, I'd say with a slight detachment from everything, but there's this alternate cat world where everything is pretty much a reflection of our known universe, but with the word cat in front of it. So there are different forays to different cat planets that takes place primarily on Cat Earth in Cat Nepal. And there is deep conspiracy, deep history, cosmic implications, and this sort of lackadaisical, often rather sleepy cat, Tamala, that we follow, carrying us through the many, many kinds of action that occur on screen, accompanied by many different kinds of very busy visuals.
Okay, and now, Pete, we get to go because this is Tamala 2030, I believe, is in the title. Tamala Punk Cat 2030. The original was Tamala a Punk Cat 2010, which was reviewed by Pete, who is a big fan. Giles, you did not see the first one, correct?
No.
And Pete hasn't seen the second one, and I haven't seen either. So, Pete, you want to give us some background on the first one, and then maybe you
Well,
can ask
yeah,
Giles some
the
questions.
Weird View Crew video is on YouTube for anybody who cares to see it on our channel. But I did a review of 2010, Tamala 2010, a punk cat in space. And I gotta say, during the break in between here, I rushed to go see the Tamala 2030 trailer, and by God, that one looks like a huge improvement over the first. The first one was more quiet. I compared it to an ASMR video because it's more of a musical and it's more about gentle sounds and slow pace and kind of delicate to it. Although it still covered things like global conspiracies and ancient power groups that were now in charge of world-spanning corporations that are monopolies. So it's kind of got a dystopian, futuristic feel to it. And Camelot turns out to be the key to a lot of mysteries of this world.
Mhm.
So with a character called Michelangelo who takes a fancy to her and then loses her and then has to try to find a way to get her back while exploring the mystery of Tamala's nature. So now, anyway, that's what the Weeaboo ears are about. However, the original looked more like a desktop production, kind of a laptop studio. It was done by one animator who just used a few different styles. It was still pretty impressive, but I didn't really call the first one weird. This one looks like it might cross the border. It's got a huge upgrade in graphics. It's got a huge upgrade in just scope. It's much more but it looks like they put a lot more work into it.
Yeah.
Giles, have you seen this, and would you concur with my intuition about it?
Having not seen the original yet, but from what research I've been able to do, yes, this is, I think, a full fruition of this team's dream is this movie. I can't imagine it being much more, considering how much it is, if you take my meaning there. So I think this may have been more what they were, hoping to do earlier on, but didn't have probably the technological means. Because one thing I've really liked about general progression for filmmaking is that filmmakers can do more and more with less, requiring less and less money to do it. And so, yeah, this the thing I saw on the big screen, I believe it was the world premiere, was everything was going on at once. Even in the quieter scenes, there's all this stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. I should say the Tamala universe is unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's not really fair to describe it as anime because it doesn't quite work that way.
yeah,
It has at least the first movie had more of a Inkscape, Adobe Illustrator type aesthetic to it, like if you've seen cartoons on TV, like Wow Wow Wubsy, it has a kind of similar art style. But the other thing with the culture of this movie is that it's so far as I've seen in the Tamala series, it seems to be not just a parody of Japanese anime culture, but a parody of Western attitudes towards that and the interplay between Japan and America as their cultures keep crossing the Pacific and keep coming up with new generations based on the previous generation's work. So
yep,
since anime itself is originally supposed to have been Japan's reaction to Walt Disney back in the day, then really the two cultures of kind of American and Japanese animation culture have kind of sort of grown up as siblings, if you will.
yeah.
So anyway, this kind of a parody of the crack between that. It's not just it's really it's got a scope to it. It's got some deep things to say, I think, but it also isn't going to take itself so seriously as to become pompous.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, certainly not pompous. Yeah, I'd say alongside parody, also a celebration because there is a very positive energy going on here.
very much so. Yeah, yeah. I just it's charming. It's charming. The first one was at least charming, I would say. The second one, we'll see if it really pulls out all the stops.
Uh, Let me add that it is from, it was hard to see who it's credited to. Sometimes they go by
Trees of Life.
TOL, sometimes they go by Trees of Life, and the directors themselves are simply known as one as K and one as Kuno. So,
hmm Very mysterious, much like their product.
hmm. So that was that. That was a recommendation. And Giles now saying it's probably the weirdest thing he's going to see. So, you holding to that? I guess you haven't seen anything new since. So, all right, let's talk about the other three movies. Why don't we do this one, which you, because it deserves some conversation, though you did not make it an Apocrypha candidate, but let's talk about it. And
No, didn't I? Yeah, I guess yeah, this one of the four I've put forward, I'd say three are hard to argue with. This one is debatable. This is from the film, well, this is a trio of, I believe, late teen, early 20 somethings, and they're in a wooded country highway area. They've stopped their Jeep SUV thing and are looking kind of warily off to one side into the neighboring woods.
okay, and it ends.
Yeah, and this definitely smacks of Exterminating Angel and that genre of, well, what let's explore what people do when they are stuck together for supernatural, well, typically supernatural, but for, days and days and days and days and months on end, being caught on the same stretch of road.
Mm. Yeah, where you put people together in one setting and don't let them really leave. In
Yeah.
Exterminating Angel, it was a drawing room, and then Elevator Movie was an elevator, and there's probably some other examples that we can come up with. Um, so it's just an endless road trip. They start taking a road trip, get on this road, and the road never ends, is how I interpreted your description.
hmm And they got the individual on the far left, the Asian American fellow, is sort of the detached, brainy one who is really determined to get to the end of this endless road, despite no indications that it is all possible. Occasionally, they encounter previous victims of this supernatural curse, whatever it is. Whenever they stop the car for a while, they're eventually detected by these swarms of desperate people, all of whom seem to be around their age, dying, just wanting to get to the car to get, try to get away from this thing. So this stop that we see in this movie still is, they do a timer early on, and they find they've usually got about a minute and a half before the swarms of insane woodland victims come trying to get into their car.
And
Yeah.
there are no filling stations in this movie?
No, Phil, yeah, they're very intrigued. There's early on, one of the characters remarks that this car shouldn't be moving because they're stuck at a quarter tank. The odometer keeps ticking up, so they have a gauge of their miles traveled, but everything is sort of held in a stasis. Otherwise, they're not getting hungry. They don't have to go to the bathroom or anything, so they're just stuck in this loop thing. They occasionally find other cars pulled off to the side that have been abandoned, and one thing that affected me greatly and made me argue that this should perhaps be considered is the end bit is just one of those beautiful smack in the face kind of moment, as you wonder if a movie titled "It Ends" can.
Any questions, Pete?
I don't have any questions. I mean, this is I just saw recently, apropos of this, I did see Vivarium on Tubi the other
Yeah.
day. So I finally caught that. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, is there a name for this genre where people are just stuck in a situation that seems paranormal, where it's defying the laws of normal 3D space? I'm calling it geometric horror.
Ooh.
Coherence is another one. Coherence is one.
Mm.
Coherence is one. There's a whole bunch of movies that have just started to come out where it's just where characters can walk in a straight line forever and come back to the same place they started, right?
I think
Yeah.
it goes back to Waiting for Godot and No Exit.
Mhm.
Those stage plays
Yeah.
really sort of pioneered that genre, and then Buñuel's Exterminating Angel was the surrealist take on it. But I don't, yeah, it doesn't have a name that I can particularly think of. Cube is similar, really.
Cube, yes.
Yep.
Ontological mystery, as I was also calling him for a while.
Yeah.
But generally, you just take a bunch of characters with either amnesia or no intentions of starting this adventure, and you just drop them into a mysterious place where weird things happen, and they're trying to figure their way out of it.
Okay.
This was a very solid, whatever the genre is called, a very solid edition, and well received by the packed house too. So
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll come up with a name for these kind of movies, though.
come up with a name in the comments. For the last two, Giles, do you have any preference for what order you tackle them in?
whichever, I think.
We'll go with the one you reviewed first then.
Okay.
I've got a still for this, but I wanted to put up the poster because I thought it was a cool throwback kind of aesthetic. Do you want to describe that?
Sure, we've got a beautiful gilded frame here, and inside we have some largely sepia-toned Photoshop kind of images. Upper left-hand corner, we've got a delightful old-fashioned, like high medieval font in blood red. Below it, we can see a carriage emerging from a pond. On the right, we see two very enthusiastic, angelically dressed individuals with their hands raised in a dancing style of motion, and seated, dominating the poster frame here in one of the more gilded chairs I've seen in my day is a smiling young blonde woman in it's a country dress, but it is a very nice country dress. This is for a special occasion for this peasant girl.
And title of the movie included there, The Devil's Bride. And then I also selected a still from this, and the still is of a gentleman with a halo who may be God, sort of, could be God holding like a
Little yellow flower there. Yeah, yeah,
daisy little
yeah.
flower, yellow flower, gazing at it, flanked by two other gentlemen with halos and bishop mitres in white and gold. And he's sitting on a throne. Is that indeed God,
That
Giles?
is God, and I think that there's a length of golden chain that's at a slight angle from the rest of it that I believe goes up to the clapper of the little bell that he's got, which that breaking kind of triggers the whole um, cavalcade of strangeness that occurs over the course of the Devil's Bride when the heavenly hosts are all singing and they're singing the glories of God. So it's this wonderful, like full orchestral hymn booming thing with, four four parts for the altos, sopranos, tenors, basses, and this majestic thing. And then it would very quickly and smoothly segue into this go-go rock thing as God would fall asleep on his chair, and then the angels would sort of get tempted by the goodies that are on the tables all around them, and then he'd wake up again, and it would immediately go back to the "oh, we're praising God" hymnal style thing. And at one point, he's trying to ring the bell to bring order when he wakes up in the middle of the more revelry kind of thing, and the clapper comes out, and so chaos ensues. A number of people are cast down to earth, including the main character.
Okay. And this is from 1974, and it is Lithuanian. So it was Soviet. It's a Soviet production, essentially. But you make it sound like it's a Christian folklore rock opera.
Good, because it is very much a Christian folklore rock opera.
All right.
Yeah, it's based on Lithuanian folk legend, which is why. Well, it's a simple story, but it was one I didn't quite follow every aspect of it, but definitely has plenty of weird going on throughout, not only from the sheer anachronism and Eastern Bloc versus very much influenced by something like Jesus Christ Superstar. But also, yeah, the various flourishes. The devil character is wonderfully vivacious, and he's got all kinds of little supernatural accessories to try and help him in his ambition to marry the beautiful daughter of the miller.
Any questions, Pete?
Yeah. Okay. I like the poster better than the still, actually, but this seems interesting. Does it compare to Dogma, perhaps, in a kind of send up of religious parody of religious
I
culture?
wouldn't. I mean, it's hard for me to say. I wouldn't. Yeah, Dogma wouldn't be the what would immediately come to mind here because it's not like it's to the extent that it's irreverent. It's irreverent in a that it's a peasant tale kind of thing, as
Oh,
opposed to a what I believe Miss Kevin Smith was getting up to with a more overt critique. So I think it's very playful. Yeah, it's more playful than disrespectful, perhaps.
hmm.
But the gilded frame thing is important. It starts and closes very, very neatly with you see this gilded frame around the live, shot of what's behind it. So you see God, heavenly host things, and then the camera goes into the gilded frame, and the action stays in there until at the very end, the camera once again pulls out from the gilded frame for the final shot. So it's all within this
Huh.
that trapping there.
Okay, well, we have 4 minutes to discuss the last one. I chose a still, which is probably going to be rather simple for Giles to describe for our
Hmm.
unsighted viewers there.
All right. Wispy clouds, nebulous, brightish but dark skyline. We see from the back an older man in the water, the bandana around his forehead and a chain looped on his right arm. And he is gazing at and between these two massive red goat style hoofs. Looks like something is inverted underwater with exposed from the knees up, and this very, very big creature here is submerged and also without something.
And what do we have? It's Dog of God.
Dog of God.
Tell us what Dog of God is.
Dog of God is a based on a 17th century Latvian witch trial. They have a werewolf-free history in that country that is very different from the one that is known by most Westerners and otherwise, in that they're a shamanistic kind of people, and they can typically only transform on 3 occasions. I believe it's the 2 important ones, Walpurgisnacht and All Hallows Eve, and if there's a cause for another one, they can do certain rituals to get there. Their job is to go to hell at least once a year to battle Satan in order to ensure good harvest for their town or, village.
All right, and it's a rotoscoped presentation. It has got a lot of transgressive content, I would say, what I've heard. And it's from, this one is from Lithuania, correct? Giles?
That is, I think it's this one. This one is Latvia.
Or is it Latvia? Okay.
Devil's Bride was Lithuanian.
Okay.
So yeah, this is for those people who like lots of religious-based violence and witchcraft and strange encounters with. The opening 5 minutes is this encounter of this dog of God, this Latvian werewolf guy squaring off against Satan.
And yeah, is there a Hitler reference in there too?
I mean, there's a character that has a Hitler-style mustache, but I believe it. It's hard. That character is one of the least malevolent, but I think it was probably just a traditional mustache before it was unpopularized, shall we say, in the 1940s.
Okay. Any questions, Pete, in the last minute?
Nah, nothing much. We've seen Dog of God on here before. It looks intriguing.
Yes. We do have an interview. Giles has an interview with the Dog of God, folks behind Dog of God, that will be posting probably at the same time that you see this. So I might have a link in there so we can get to see both. But that's Dog of God, rotoscoped werewolf witchcraft movie from Lithuania, and a modern one. Okay, that seems to be that. We covered everything. Is everybody still here? Yes.
Yep.
Any final comments in our last 30 seconds, or should we just
buy our books? We have books
buy our
out.
books.
Buy books. Buy the book guides. Yes, the weird movie guides, volumes 1 and 2, on sale now. Years in the making. Some of the greatest minds in movie critique online that you'll find have contributed to these 2 volumes that are an epic work.
And so did the 3 of us. So, all right, that'll do it. We'll be back tomorrow with pretty much the same crew to talk more new releases and more Fantasia, and we will see you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
Cheers.
Hey, Trippy.
Weird. Yeah, I guess that is the word for it. Weird.